Hi, my name's Nikki, and today I'm going to walk you through a kind of sultry, smoky eye look using the Tarte Pro palette. This has the perfect array of color shadows and neutral shadows, blending, base shades, everything you need, and then 4 shimmer shades to kind of offset all the matte. I'm starting with this shade down here. It's called Bold. It's a great transition shade, and I like to take my transition shade on a fluffy brush and sweep it just above the crease. For my eye shape, I have a lot of space between my brow and my crease, so I like to fill that out a little bit more. Meaning I take that color, the transition color, a little bit higher up than someone who had less space there. The shade Classic right here makes for a great highlighting shade. It's not shimmery, it has just a nice matte finish. And I'm just going to go right under the brow. Now I'm going to go in with the shade Edgy, and this is a really nice, deep, warm brown. I'm taking that on a smaller brush, and I'm going to go right into the crease, so lower than where we put our blending shade. And I'm going to just follow along the crease. I'm also deepening up this outer corner. To ensure everything is nice and blended, I'm going back in with my original crease brush, my blending brush, and I'm just kind of blending that out. And we can always go back in and add more, so I like to take it kind of step by step. So I'm doing the same thing on this side. I'm just taking that dark brown shadow, buffing it into the crease, keeping it a little bit lower on the lid. That way you don't get too much darkness up here. You don't want too much dark up in that area. I'm going to warm it up a bit by going in with this shade called Whimsy, and it's a gorgeous burnt orange color. I'm taking that right on the lid, but focusing it more on the outer corner of the lid. And then kind of up into the crease area. This is just gonna add a nice base shade for the kind of light gold I'm gonna put on top of it. I'm taking a little bit more of that warm shade Whimsy, and I am lining the lower lash line with that. Going back in with another highlight color, this time I'm taking Vintage, which has a subtle sheen to it, and putting Vintage just in the inner corners to kind of brighten up. I'm taking one of my favorite colors in this palette. It's called Glam, and it is one of the shiny luster shades. You can use these wet or dry. I'm just using it dry, and I'm putting it all over my lid. I mostly like to focus my lid shades on the inner portion of the lid, and then I bring it about 3/4 out to the outer edge. If you use these shadows wet, they're extremely metallic. For today, I wanted to pick something that's a little bit more wearable, even for like daily wear. I'm going to add some eyeliner. I am using the Precision Longwear liner. This is a liquid liner. It's great for getting a nice thin line on the upper lash line. Now we're moving on to my favorite part of an entire face, which is mascara. So I'm going to do a 2-step mascara process. First, I'm using the lifted mascara. This is sweat-proof. It has vitamin B5 in it, which basically helps promote healthy and hydrated lashes. It also has vitamin C and Amazonian clay, and since it is sweat-proof, I put it underneath my regular mascara to create kind of a nice thickening base, and it doesn't allow any of my mascaras to flake or fade off throughout the day. On my days off, I just wear this by itself, but I've been loving using it as a base mascara and then also for a lower lash mascara. I'm very prone to smudging and flaking under my eyes, and this has worked perfectly for me. Then for that extra bold, thick, lengthened lashes, I'm going to go in with the Tarteist mascara. This has great nylon bristles in it, which lengthen and separate the lashes, and it's a nice bold black formula. So I already have my foundation on my face. I'm going to jump right into concealing. I'm using the Tarte Shape Tape. I like to use the shade Light Medium, especially if I'm not particularly highlighting. I just like to match my skin tone. You can use fingers with this, you can use a sponge, you can use a brush. However you use it, it always looks amazing. You don't even have to set it if you don't want to, which I appreciate because I don't love to put powder under my eyes because they're already dry. And it just blends out like a dream. This has mango seed in it, has shea butter in it. so blends out and keeps you nice and hydrated with full coverage. For a little bit more glam under eyes, I'm going to now take the shade Ethereal, which is another one of the luster shimmer shades, and I'm going to add that right under the lower lashes and smoke it out a little bit. To create some balance and definition on my face, I'm going to use the Tarteist Pro Glow palette. I'm obsessed with these shades. You get cream, powder, and then 4 highlighting shades. I'm starting with a little bit of the cream as my base contour shade, and I'm going to softly go in right under my cheekbone, bringing it a little bit higher up. I like to put my brush from the tip of the ear to the corner of my mouth. That gives me the line that I want to contour at. And then from there, I always go a little bit higher up because we're always trying to lift the cheeks. And this is just your base shade, so it doesn't have to be perfect, but I like to just get a little bit of a shadow. Now I'm just jumping over to the powder contour. This is a great cool tone matte powder contour. At this point, you have your cool tone contour where you want it, but it's not completely blended out. So I always like to go in with a little bit of bronzer, sometimes shimmer, sometimes matte, depending on how I'm feeling for that day. And I like to go just right over the contour shade to warm it up and blend everything out. It's up to you whether you want to highlight before or after blush. Doesn't really matter, but I think a lot of people think that if you do bronzer or contour, bronzer, highlight, then blush, the highlight kind of melts in with the brush and it gives a more natural appearance. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm taking the shade Stunner, which is stunning. It's amazing. I'm going to take it on a pointed brush and I'm going to highlight with this shade. A little bit goes a very long way. And then I like to pop the shade Strobe, which is the lightest one, just in the inner corners of my eye. That always makes me look really awake. Pretty much the last step for the face is going to be blush, and I'm using the shade Sensual because I didn't want anything too crazy because I want the attention to go on my eyes. So for blush, I focus it on the apples of the cheeks and brush it back to kind of meet up with the contour shade. For lips, I decided to do something a little bit different other than a nude lip, and I'm going in with the lip paint in the color Killin. This formula is great. It is a very thin consistency, so you can easily apply it and it dries pretty much immediately and doesn't move all day. I love berry shades all year round, but especially in the winter when it's cold and very white outside, I feel like the berry just pops. All right, now it's time to take your hair down. And the last step of any makeup look for me is to spray my face, just so everything melts together and it stays all day. This mist is my favorite. This is the Rainforest of the Sea Marine Boosting Setting Spray. This hydrates with seawater. It helps perk up your skin with caffeine. It smells delicious because it has orange peel extract in it. It also has algae in it, which helps tighten and reduce the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. So you can spray this throughout the day, and I am guilty of doing that every hour or so. Shake it up and spray. So this is my finished look. Let's do a final zoom in so you can see the actual makeup. So that's it for my tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video and have a great day. Bye.